Man, there's not enough light in your space. What's happening? It's like 5 a.m. right now.
It's pitch black at the moment.
Holy snap. Yeah, here it's
Yeah.
like 2 p.m. Got some sunlight there. Kind of bluish sky. It's still pretty cloudy and hazy. But yeah, it's good here in Montreal, Canada.
Yeah, that's great. I'm just thinking, I still just can't get over how we'll cover it in the podcast, but yeah, we can cut
Oh
that bit
yeah.
out. But yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, the stuff we've been going back and forth about how true it is.
No, man, that's how it works, man. It's just, I mean, God networking people on Earth. What can I say? I mean, kind of ties into what I'm working on too, like in terms of my job, like recently.
Hold up, let me
But
just move maybe in a better spot.
yeah.
The light, like, what is it? As you can see, or is it? Is I going to turn it off? No, literally pitch black.
Yeah, no worries. Try to get some more light in your area so we can actually see your
That'd be
beautiful
better.
face, obviously. Yes, I can see you better. Wait. If you can get the light, like, so it reflects off of you, basically. Let's see. Because right now it's like behind you, kind of. Like you're blocking.
Hold up.
There we go. Now it's a bit better. It's because I think it's because the light's going on top of you. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. We can
It's beaming
maybe
on top. Yeah, no worries.
go.
If you can, like, I don't know. If it's going on top, you have to be something. You have to be doing something like this.
I could maybe
But anyways, it's fine.
something like
We'll
that.
think about lighting later on. Right now, we're trying
Pardon?
to get to the gist of the what we're about to talk about. So I got everything on the Notion app here. Um, I'll share my screen. Can I share? Invite people.
I still think the podcast is like a great idea because then we can network with more people and then we can just keep on doing God's work as well.
Exactly. So about last week, so I got everything here basically set up. This is my mic, but later on we'll be using it for actually recording like quality audio. But now we're starting. We have to start like this.
Yeah,
It's all right.
baby steps.
So basically, yeah. So the topics we touched on our test episode last week, we basically had from what I remember, and I wrote down here, an introduction of you, an introduction of me, and then we talked about Plato's cave for a bit. I brought that up, and then you brought up a nice point of like how God writes good for us to help us in this world, and how He connects people across different parts of the earth. You know, like different parts of where we live, basically, to help people grow together. And that's those are basically the main points that I got. If you have any points that you remember we talked about last week, you can bring them up now.
It was really just about like mechanisms, vibration,
Yeah.
just all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like in general, like how people can vibrate certain frequencies and other people can catch them and listen to them and like tune into them. And this is the whole point of why we're on this podcast, is so we can express and sound out our thoughts, our frequencies in our minds, and just give out like positive energy and positive light to people, so they can like improve in their lives and grow. And that's what we want on Earth, right? We want to create a whole like a what I call symbiotic community. Symbiotic is just symbiosis, where people mutually benefit from each other without, you know, all that toxicity, all that one person killing the other. The whole zero sum thing, I don't believe in. I just believe in win-win, right? So there's no such thing as zero sum. If we're all here on this earth and we're existing and we're living, only God decides when we'll die. So There's no such thing as you have to kill me, I have to kill you so I can keep living. That doesn't exist. There's no cancel culture, there's no
Well,
X,
there is
there's no
cancel culture.
cross.
There is a lot of
Yeah.
cancel culture.
Yeah,
I've
okay.
been cancelled twice.
Yeah, but you were canceled, but you haven't been canceled as in someone killed you. You've just been
Oh,
canceled as in, you see what I mean? So you're
yeah.
still living, we're still existing, we're still on this earth. We're talking, me and you, on this podcast. Like, there's no, the whole cancel culture is really just an illusion. That's what I see.
Like, because you don't actually die and don't actually suffer the proper consequences. It's more like a bouncing board forward, really.
Yeah. I mean, we're just living the experience of cancel culture, but it's not something that's actually happening right now. Right?
Yeah, because you don't actually suffer like a proper. You don't actually die, so there's no proper consequences to it.
Exactly. And only God dictates death, right? God writes death for everyone. So that's, and he's not going to wish something wrong for anyone. God wishes good for every human being. That's why we exist. That's why he gives us a life, right? He wants good for us. He wants us to prove to ourselves that we are worthy of paradise in our lives. You see? He wants to
Yeah,
write good for us. He wants us to write good for ourselves, you know? To write yourself a good life, to do the good and right thing, you know. That's what he wants. But yeah, this week I had a few points that I wanted to talk about, and you mentioned this over text when we were talking leading up to this podcast episode. Is we wanted to talk a bit more on the physical side. We did mention that abstract ideas and kind of like the whole spiritual side of in the previous episode, but this one we'll talk more about like the physical side of reality. And the way I want to bring this up is like basically how we can align our values, whether it be personal values, moral values, religious values, etc., with our behavior and our mechanisms, so our actions, words, habits, reflexes, etc. And I just wanted to ask for like any examples of how we already kind of did this either consciously or subconsciously in our personal lives, you know? So like a question for you, Denyin, is are there any values personal to you that kind of you aligned with your behavior or your actions, words, whatever, to get to a purpose or goal in life? So by value, it could be something like discipline, patience, drive, mm, uh, love, dedication, uh, anything that value comes from the abstract, and that's personal to you.
I'm just thinking, like, for an example, like I train and work every day, so that's like one of them. So that I could say ab, that's abstractly discipline, and like I got goals that I want to achieve, so I just keep on pushing, like relentlessly, just pushing and trying to get the goals.
Right.
Um, would you say vision would be one of them?
Yeah. Well, vision is not really a value. It's more of like, I would say a value is something that kind of has like you basically have an attribute for it. Like you attribute
Oh
it
yeah,
to. So vision, you can say like I'm a visionary. I like to see or plan or draw uh, my my journey in life, or my goals. Having like a vision board. You can say I'm a visionary.
yeah, visionary is a bit close to it because I can just pull abstract ideas out of the ether and just basically make them into one massive plan out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then you dedicate your life to that. You dedicate your actions, your words, your habits to that. But you have to make sure that whatever vision you have aligns with what's real, not just in this world, but also in the life that's to come, right? In the next one.
That'd be
So
through the long term gratification and just
exactly, like
preparing for that.
preparing for paradise, basically preparing for heaven, preparing to meet God, because we're all gonna die at the end of the day. That's the reality. We're not here eternally. That's the illusion that basically Satan wants for it. Like, whatever, the devil or even ourselves, we kind of like, oh yeah, we're gonna live here forever with all this technology and like freaking all this. Oh yeah, Saudi Arabia is trying to build a Dragon Ball Z theme park. Oh, we're gonna be like Dragon Ball Z characters, like, but it's an illusion, right? I even
Yeah,
have
it's a
some of my
complete
personal
illusion.
friends, like I have some of my personal high school friends that are just like on vacation right now. They're going to all over Europe and visiting all these crazy parks and like concerts and like doing like dressing up like insane. Like it really looks like it's a cult, and they're tapping into they're basically allowing their energies, their thoughts, their frequencies to kind of succumb and submit to whatever whoever planned that scene, you know.
Yeah, so the short term, like, yeah, it's a short term
The
illusion
short-term
of
pleasure,
like, being,
exactly. The
yeah.
short-term pleasure, the short-term illusion, exactly. But we're looking for the long game. We're looking for the long term, and basically,
We're thinking in decades while everyone else is thinking in weeks and days.
and the crazy part, Denyin, is like God gives us examples of this in our personal lives. When you when you do something hard now, it pays off later, right? When like the hard work that you're putting in right now, all these days, waking up at 5 a.m. for the podcast, or even waking up at 7 a.m. for your work, you're gonna see it pay off soon, and you're doing this young, man. And if you stick to it consistently and you build off of like whatever efforts you're doing now, you're gonna see those. And it's that deep belief and like conviction that you have within your heart that drives you, and that's the pleasure that you want, not the sensory pleasure of like, oh yeah, I need a quick, in and out and experience. Like I gotta put myself in like this, you know illusional
Hedonistic
state.
illusion is probably the best way to word it.
But like you're not even progressing there. You're literally just you're sitting there idly. You're not moving your limbs. You're not. There's no growth technically, and your mind too isn't really growing. Like, what are you doing with your mind? You're not solving complex math integrals. You're not memorizing all these biology terms to kind of become a doctor, or you know whether if that was your goal. But in general, like when you're in those states, you're not really benefiting from anything except for
As you
self
say,
pleasure.
lose lose.
Except for self pleasure, but that's
Yeah, but,
that itself is an illusion.
yeah, but also like I've realized like whenever you go to the gym, whenever you work out, you would have realized this as well. Like the more harder and harder you train, the more better and better you feel after the workout. And also, it's a progression over time as well that changes you. Like you feel good after doing the hard, but also long term after doing the hard task as well.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Like
I was
what
just
what
thinking,
what
it's like
did you have any recent gym milestones or kind of objectives that you already met? Like how long? Because you told me you've been at the gym for a while now.
oh, let me think. I've been at the gym since I was like 13, so it'll be like 7 years almost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, did you did you see any recent like progress, even like in the last 7 years, I guess?
Well, this is to do with the gym, but it's not really. Like I've found that sparring the professionals getting easier and easier. Starting the professional boxers is just getting easier and easier, and he's like 20 kilos heavier than me. That's like one example.
Nice.
Um, I'm just lifting more and more weights. I'm getting more and more consistent over time. I'm losing more and more fat and just trying to become leaner. I don't know. It's just pretty much when you affect one area, it affects all because it also is like, okay. this is happening, then I'm also waking up early. My mind's just getting better. I'm getting to high frequency. I need less sleep. Like
You see,
I can literally sleep. I can go 3 4 days without sleeping. I can like I've done that before. I've also can do. I can literally like all the last week I was sleeping about 4 hours a day.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just because that
Yeah,
high frequency and that high energy.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like
That's
your
for sure.
body. Yeah,
But you have to. There's always a limit to how much your body can take. You have to know that internally, and you have to give yourself that rest too, or whatever food that's gonna basically nourish your body to kind of keep that energy going. You know, because there's always a limit to, even personally in my life too. I've seen a lot of spikes, up spikes that got me like very far. Like I had sleepless nights typing up like papers, labs, reports, and that got me like crazy grades. That got me like rewards, like insane rewards, like medals and all that in my time. But there's always like
the crash.
in my creed, in my religion, there's always a limit and on your body, and your body has a right over you too. Even though you are the soul in the body, because you are the soul, you're responsible for the body too. So you have to know when to treat it and when to cure it, right? And when what its limits are, right? As you get older, obviously you'll see that your limits are getting higher and higher, right?
Yeah,
Like right now you're starting this young, 19, and you can do all these things. That's good. Keep going because you're still young. But you see, like later on, as you age, you're gonna see there's gonna be a peak, and then after that, you have to know when to ramp down too. But in general, that's the nature of man, right? It's like all natural processes. There's always gonna be a ramp up. There's gonna be a peak, and then there's gonna be a slow ramp down. And throughout that process, you have to be content, right? But that's just going in general. Yeah. So yeah, I was gonna say like, do you have like any other examples of yourself? You've mentioned one example where you wanted to pursue rowing,
oh yeah,
right? As an Olympic athlete.
yeah.
That's
Which is funny
insane.
enough because I'm trying to. We're all trying to
How?
boycott this Olympics.
What are the positive out like takes you can give us on that experience?
Honestly, all I did was train. That's all I did. I trained about 3 4 times a day. 2 times in the morning, 2 times. Like pretty much. What is it?
So
Once
training,
in the
yeah.
morning before school. Once sometimes before school again, and then 2 or 3 times after school. So it's just yeah.
Did you ever sleep with a row stick beside your bed?
I should do that one day.
Yeah, because I did think of that in my vision. Like when I was young too, I was into soccer a lot, and I used to be really good too. But I wasn't so like I've known guys who were really into soccer. Like look at Mbappe. This guy had his whole bedroom when he was young. He had like pictures of Ronaldo, his favorite players, just like around his bedroom walls, like on his bedroom walls, basically. And that's where he would sleep. Now imagine like a guy like so dedicated to the sport, like he's sleeping with a ball beside his like basically the ball is his pillow. You know, it's crazy
That's
because
dedication there.
that's dedication because you're building the dream with that, right? Because you're at night you're sleeping, you're dreaming about it, and during the day you wake up, you're doing it. So that's kind of also like one way of like using your abstract unconscious mind to kind of drive your concrete conscious reality in a way, because you're also using that kind of you're basically tapping into the full human potential at this point. You know, you're not just limiting yourself to okay, I need my sleep, but sleep with the vision in mind too. You know,
I
and you want
also
to
think
create that environment like be around you. That's the thing.
yeah, that's 100% like true as well. But also there should be a way that you should be able to control that without the environment being in your favor because your environment's not always going to be in your favor.
That's true.
Like, let's just say if you travel, if you got, I don't know, a bit of chaos going on or whatever, like the environment's not always going to be in your favor. At least like bring a
Yeah,
soccer ball with you, maybe a poster, or just try and make it. You can only do so much to make the environment as preferable as possible. You still got to perform under any scenario, though.
that's true. That's true.
And even
100.
though, and even I was just thinking, like I was just watching a video from Luke. He's one of the guys in the real world. Like he's our marketing expert, and he's just like, all you want, like pretty much all you just want to do is just think, dream, and just you just put that to a T because it's like that's how professionals make their mark because they're like that singular focus is that entire like it's just entirely dedicated on that while the rest of their life is in like a massive season of like unbalance.
Right, right.
I'm just thinking because also like with some people's sporting careers, it's also they got massive seasons of unbalance as well because they focus on one core aspect while they have like another that they're currently doing until they get that and master that skill, and then they move on to the next one and the next one and the next one.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's how it works because they basically learned how to master a skill. So for them to they basically that's like the meta skill you consider like the higher skill that they learn. So then they can use that skill to learn other skills that are like technical skills, and it's a lot easier basically. Like I know one guy, I don't know if you know him on YouTube. He's pretty famous. Ali Abdal. He's
Oh
a
yeah, no, yeah,
productivity
I know.
guy. His whole channel is not about productivity, but you know how he started his. He basically started by
Medical
making.
student, wasn't it?
Yeah, he started by making videos on for medical students to or people interested in getting into med school. That was his skill because he knew that how to do that at a time. He pulled it off, and he had like kind of like set out the kind of like algorithm for that for himself. And then he was basically telling others, okay, this is how we're supposed to do it. And others were actually getting into med school. And then people then were asking him, okay, how do I succeed in med school? Well, guess what? He already pulled it off. He's a doctor now. So then he did it. He started giving them out. And then boom, from there, he's like, oh, now I know how to sell or how to like create content and sell the technique of how to succeed in med school. Just knowing how to do that allowed him to basically teach others how to get good at any skill, not just how to get into med school or any profession, I guess, not just good at being a doctor. So then he got into his whole niche got bigger now. Now instead of starting with a med school thing, now he went into productivity, right? So he's like, okay, I'm gonna focus on productivity, how to make people more productive. And then he talked about like, you know, how to time manage, how to energy manage, how to, you know, create a system for yourself that's going to work on your day to day throughout the year. You know, how to dedicate yourself to that and then how to reap the rewards, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy. At least he didn't just keep on just trying to read that medical because he only had so much you can do with that.
Exactly.
I'm
So
just
he
thinking,
got, yeah.
I was also just thinking, you could have done the same actually, like with engineering as well. Like,
Yeah, 100%. But
big,
everyone has a unique kind of value they can bring to this world. And I kind of know based on my life, I have like a direction of where it's headed. But I'm just waiting for God's timing, to be honest. Because for me, I see myself as really like, just really, really like. I mean, you know me, Denyin. Like I'm super into my religions, into my creed, and all that. And like I really like to align my whole self, my whole being, my existence, to kind of see the signs happening, right? You know, recently, what's crazy is I actually wanted to share this with you, but there's a whole domain, not just in Islam, but even in Christianity and Judaism called eschatology. I don't know if you heard of this word.
never heard of it.
Eschatology is basically like sign like the end of times, like the end of results. And the reason why I say this, a lot of people don't like this word. Like if they know it and they talked about it, they don't like this word because it has to do with things that you can't really predict because they're in the future. It's like prophecies and all that. So it's like kind of like way too untangible. But I still like enjoy like talking about it and just pondering about it because you kind of predict yourself in the future too. And who doesn't want to do that, right? Right?
Yeah,
Who
but
doesn't want to
you got
know
your
how
own
their
self
lives?
fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. Who doesn't want to know how their lives are gonna end, right? So it's like yeah, I can be like Ali Abdal and just you know start my
Milk a
own niche
YouTube
and
algorithm.
yeah, start my own niche and then build that and then create wealth out of that. But we're still all accountable for all of what we're doing, and he knows that too. He's a Muslim, right? So what I'm saying here is basically like in Islam we have these signs that kind of determine like what's going to happen in the end of times. Like a lot of them already happened, and one that's like, for example, I can say there's one sign that's super happening right now is like sex will be publicized. The prophets, peace be upon him, said that. He said sex will be publicized. They were not, the end of time will not come until sex is publicized. And now there's a whole freaking industry
Industry.
on it, right? For X-rated content, for whatever they call adult entertainment. But look how that's
Yeah.
programming people, right? Look how that's programming people, and that's like basically telling people like they're basically programming people into like this whole self-pleasure, ego-driven kind of like vibe, right?
But also, it's like the illusion that you bang so many girls, but nothing actually happens.
Yeah, like what value are you getting out of it? And
You're the
what not
product.
just, or even if you are getting material value, when you die, you're gonna be paying a lot for that. Like our, because we know this, like it's written in our books, it's written in the scriptures before, in the gospel, it's written in the everywhere, and people ignore that. They sometimes they willingly ignore it, and it sucks, right? Because it's like you're just diminishing in value, like in the afterlife. Even though you think, oh yeah, I can, yeah, but like you're temporary. Don't forget that it's an illusion, you know.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So
It's
one of the signs that actually
yeah.
happened, I wanted to share this with you, is like during Ramadan in Montreal, we had two eclipses. We had a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. And if you search this up on Wiki, I'll share this link to you later. But if you search this up on Wiki, the minor signs of the last day or the day of judgment, like every Abrahamic religion believes in this, is that there's gonna be a lunar eclipse either in the start or the middle of Ramadan, and a solar eclipse either at the middle or the end of Ramadan. And if you go today, this year, North America had both, and it happened this year 2024, and that's a sign of the like one of the minor signs, and that sign has been already written in the 6th 7th century, and it's so precise. Like think about the dates, think about the eclipses, think about like it's insane. It's actually insane. It's like what the hell is going on? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
And,
have any
and I
words for that.
actually,
That's just insane.
yeah, and I recorded the eclipse too. Like I have recordings on my phone. My friends have recordings. It's all over the media, bro. It's insane.
That's probably why
Talk
they're
about
trying to
the
destroy the
talk
West
about the
while we are.
Matrix. Yeah.
I'm just thinking that's probably why they're trying to destroy the West while they can, because they already know the Day of Judgment's going to come, and this year's
Yeah.
known as like the hero's year. So this is obviously in the real world. So also known as the year of chaos as well.
Yeah. Mm.
As I was just thinking, because of that, that's also why they're trying to destroy it, because they know the Day of Judgment's coming soon.
Yeah, they do. I mean, look what's happening in Israel or Palestine. Joe Biden is pushing it, but Trump is trying to like delay it, and it's like, what the heck's going on?
There's so much to uncover. We're just getting started. We're just
I know, and it's crazy, but the worst part is like our generation wants to push it because I like when I talk to young Muslims my age, they really want to be part of that end result of what's going to happen when Jesus descends, and there's going to be like the whole resolution happening in Jerusalem and all that. But if you look at my parents' generation and their generation, they all pray to basically die before that happens because it's such a painful time to live in. You know, it's like either it's literally like that time will be the real cancel culture because either you believe in an imposter and you're basically sold heaven on earth for hell in the hereafter, or you die. You die in this world and you enter heaven in the next. That's basically the test, the final test for humanity is are you really so attached to this earth and this world that that's it? There's nothing for you after you die. There's literally it's just void death. And what's worse is like it's not void. It's actually eternal existence of either you're like going left or right basically, and
Well, sort of stuff like Abel.
or you get canceled in this world, but you get canceled in the right way, and you enter paradise without accountability in the next world.
That's crazy. That's a, yeah.
Because
That's,
like that's what they're doing. Like that's what we believe in. There's going to be an imposter that comes out of the east and is going to reign people from Israel.
they said that in the Quran, though.
It says, well, in the Quran, it doesn't say that directly, but it says it
Yeah. It never
in the
said it explicitly, yeah.
yeah, it says that in the hadith, like in the prophecies, basically that were yeah
But doesn't
recorded.
it also say he's going to have similar traits to like Jesus and then also going to have
Yeah,
like markings?
yeah, he'll have markings similar traits as Jesus. He'll be one-eyed,
Yeah,
meaning
that's the main one, yeah.
the main one is he'll be one-eyed, and the reason that's symbolic is because when you're one-eyed, you lose depth in your vision. Like if you cover one eye and you see just with the other eye, you won't be able to tell depth. Like if I were to reach my finger close to like this, right, like this, I wouldn't know like the the sense of depth isn't there, and that's deep because it goes back to saying like when you're one-eyed, you're only attached to superficial things in this world. But when you see with two eyes, you're attached to the deeper meanings and insights, not just the shallow, superficial objects and materials that are presented to you, right? Like
Yeah,
when I look
like,
at this keyboard, right, I could just see it as something that I'm using to type to control as a peripheral of my computer. But there's also a meaning behind it, right? There's like key bindings. I can control, I can attach my mind to what I'm doing. You know, there's deeper, and you can go deeper and deeper. And at every level, there's going to be a shallow and a deeper thing. And you have to know how to, that's how you level up, basically.
reassociate and disassociate the good from the
Exactly.
bad.
Exactly. The good from the bad and what's deep versus shallow. And that's how you level up mentally, you know?
It's like a full quadrant formula as well, like the win-win, lose-lose, the win-lose, and the
Yeah.
lose-win.
Yeah, exactly. It's, yeah. But that's why I say I'm always the mindset of win-win or no deal. Because in that mindset, you're never losing, no matter what.
But also you don't suffer the karmic consequences of your actions.
Yeah, there's no accountability. That's what we want. We want to basically as soon as we exit this world, whatever exit code that's given to us, when we get that exit code, we're saying, okay, that's it. We want to enter God's mercy without accountability. That's what we want. You know that's and you see people being slain in Palestine and being slain in like these camps, you know, and not just that, even in Ukraine, like for no reason. Like those people, like they're just common people, you know.
Yeah.
But like they're not well, like you know, if they weren't giving they weren't given the message and the knowledge of what's to come, they're not gonna be judged by that. They're gonna be judged by what they what they knew, right? What they knew at this in this life, right? And what they were, what how they applied what they knew to the best of their ability. That's what they're gonna be judged for, you know. But yeah, that's in general. Like that's my take.
But also, I'm just thinking back to actually Egyptian mythology. That was actually similar to I think it's Satan, how they pronounce it, and
Yeah.
also with Ra, how he loses one eye and he becomes the devil. The eye becomes another god, I'm pretty sure, and it's becomes like a one-eye Ra or whatever, something similar to that.
I don't know where you saw that.
I saw it from actually one of Jordan Peterson's podcast
Oh, interesting.
because he mentions the significance between like Christianity and the old faiths as well, like the
Mm.
Mesopotamians, the
Ah, I got you.
Egyptians. Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
saying like the whole one-eyed figure is very, very similar to like Egyptian mythology,
got you. Yeah,
and
yeah.
and it's also seen as Satan, and it's also seen as like an imposter Satan. It's seen like very similar to. It's what I should symbolically similar to how you just described, like with the whole figure and yeah,
Yeah. The whole depth versus shallow,
yeah,
superficial. Yeah. At the
just
end of the day, that's what it is. But in the end, we can't see our enemy. Our enemy sees us. So the focus is not on our enemy. The focus is on God.
But
Because
then can't we also say we're our own enemy if we keep on putting ourselves against God and if we keep on pushing for a
yeah, yeah. Because God says it. As soon as you ally yourself with your enemy, which is God's enemy, which is Satan, you become God's enemy. Because you're lying. You're basically you're making an alliance. You're accompanying yourself with whatever the person that wants to distance you from God. And if you look at the root meaning of shaitan, which means shatana, it's the root word. Shatana means to distance yourself. It's the root Arabic root meaning, and to, the real meaning is to distance yourself from God. So as soon as you make an alliance with the person whose distance, whose whole existence is to distance himself from God. That's what you are. You become God's enemy. You see what I mean?
yeah. I see what you mean. Oh,
So
I just
it's
love
really
how
like
you're saying
the
this at the
line.
moment
Yeah, yeah, of course not.
because
Just
of the Olympic Games and what's been going on. They just had a recent event at Bohemian Grove to see. They do that before every presidency as well.
I see.
So they just worship the owl statue. Like I think 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So they're basically going back into paganism at this point.
is
That's crazy.
paganism a form of Satanism?
Yeah, paganism is idol worshiping. Satanism is you're making your idol Satan. So
Well,
it's
they
like
do
the
both.
worst form. Satanism is the worst form of it because you're now worshiping your enemy. But paganism is like what Satan wants also. Like he wants you to worship objects and symbols and things that in this world that are not real and well they're real in a sense that you can see them, but they're not real in the sense that they're not going to last. It's
Like money's
temporary.
a great example.
Just like your life, your whole life is not going to last here. We're not here for an eternal time. We're here for a short time. We want to make it short. We want to make it good, and we want to make it good in the hereafter when we exit. That's all we're concerned about for
Yeah.
ourselves, you know.
But also, it also our result affects our family as well over the long term,
Well,
and
yeah,
also that's why I think
exactly.
of generational, like generational curses, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because it's your seed. You're a man. You're going to be giving that to a woman, a family. It's your seed. You want your kids to do good too. You want them to prosper. You want them to follow God, right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking there's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, man. I mean,
There's a lot
for
we can
your
get.
age, oh my goodness, bro. You're like 19 and you're hearing all of this stuff, bro. I wish someone gave that to me when I was that age.
Let's just say I've done a lot of digging. I've had a very much a lot of sleepless nights. I've done, yeah.
Yeah. I know your journey, man. Hopefully, I would say if you want to like revert to Islam, keep doing the digging and the research and build your faith before actually, because Islam is about not just your faith, it's about your actions too. But if you see yourself not yet being able to pray 5 times a day or not being able to fast, don't force it on your body yet. Don't force it on your life yet. You want to
This
make
is
sure that your
gonna sound
faith,
crazy.
yeah, you want to make sure that your faith, the seed that's inside of you, grows before the action comes out of, before it materializes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I already fast at like 10 p.m. normally. Anyway, I already fast from when I wake up to like 10 p.m. Sometimes midnight. Yeah.
No, in Islam, there's none of like we.
Oh no,
If
no, I'm
that's
just saying that's just my
yeah,
normal day.
yeah. I know you can push your bodies to that limit. That's good. But I'm just saying, like you have to. The bodies have rights over the souls, right? The soul controls the body, but you should know, like, oh, yeah, my body needs to eat right at this time. My body needs to rest at this time, because or else you'll be hindering your progress.
Well, yeah, I've also seen from when I didn't sleep for like 3 4 days. I just passed
Nah.
out for like a day and a half.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. But
It's
yeah,
pretty
you
funny
gotta be
though.
careful because it can also affect it can affect you mentally, like the way your neurons polarize, depolarize to release connections, you know that you got to be careful. Like sleep is very important too. You want to keep it consistent with the system.
That's something I definitely need to work on. But I'm legit at this point of where I don't sleep. I just rest, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I get the feeling too. Like when you're just resting, where you're not sleeping, you're not going the deep sleep, because you're
Yeah.
not feeding. I get you because you're not feeding the bad side of you. You don't want to give yourself too much sleep that it becomes reliant on sleep. You know what I mean? Like it becomes kind of like enjoying itself in sleep. That's a bad thing. You
What? So
know,
you're not meant to. So you're not meant to enjoy yourself in the realm of sleep, or are you?
like what I mean is like you're not no. Well, if God decides to give you, sometimes like,
I know, because I
well,
mean like
the whole
dreams and
concept.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah. But that's not on us. That's if God, because the natural way for a man is to have wet dreams, is not to be, because as soon as you touch
that
yourself,
wasn't even where I was going at. That wasn't even where I was
oh, it's not
leading
even what.
at. I was just
Oh,
meaning
my
like
bad.
vivid dreams and that
I'm
sort of
gonna
stuff.
cut that out. I'm gonna cut that out. I thought you said wet dreams for a second.
No. I thought I meant like vivid dreams and
Vivid.
like
Okay. Yeah.
you can enjoy yourself in like in your dreams, like because you get such a
Yeah. For
vivid
sure. You
perception
can.
of
You see yourself as a
yeah.
hero. You see yourself as a hero in your dream. 100%. Sometimes
That's
you
what I
get
was meant. Yeah.
inspiration. Yeah, my bad, bro. I was like, what? I thought I heard the wrong word. My bad. Sorry. But yeah,
No,
like
it's all good.
what, like when it comes to dreams, like vivid dreams, that's a blessing. The best dreams are the ones that basically come to you to tell you this is what you're gonna do during the day, and then it basically happens during the day. It's like a prophetic dreams, basically.
That's crazy. The yeah.
Apparently, 46th of prophecy is to have consistently dreamt of what you're gonna do during the day for 6 months. Like you've been sleeping, you dreamt of what you're gonna do the next day for 6 months. That's crazy. But
Yeah,
that's like
that has
very,
happened before.
yeah. But for me too. But it's only like one or twice. I haven't had it happen 6 months in a row. Like in like basically 6 months is like what 30 almost give take times six,
That's like
120
180 days.
in a row. That's crazy.
That's crazy to yeah. That's mad. Yeah. I don't
Yeah, 100%.
like even having the same dream once or twice is crazy, but then 6 months in a row is
Yeah, 6 months in a row of you dreaming what you're gonna do the next day, and then it happens. It fulfills itself.
Also, do you still get dreams of like dreams that you used to have in your childhood as well?
Yeah, like those basically like flashbacks. Yeah, I do
Oh
get
no,
to
no, no. I mean, do you have dreams of the stuff that you dreamt of when you were a kid?
like the same dreams. Yes, yeah, like they're like
Yeah.
repetitions. Yeah,
Yeah. That's yeah. I was just thinking that's just crazy. I think how wild the brain is with like what is it with the aspect of dreams and also how the repetition and also especially if you fulfill your prophecy over 6 months in a row, it's like that's
yeah,
something that we don't hear of in like Christianity and other faiths.
yeah. I mean, it's just like yeah, it's in even in Islam. Like people don't hear this a lot too. Like Muslim-born people, they don't even hear this stuff a lot. It's just you gotta be lucky sometimes too.
There's also a bit of luck, but also there's also another part of you that's know that you got to serve God to get that to happen as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like you're doing God's work basically. 100%. I totally agree with that. Man,
But
that's
then,
gonna what a day for you. Yeah, you're gonna start your week like this, man. Oh my god, I'm jealous, man. What?
well, waking up 4 a.m., responding to all my texts, and let's jump on a podcast.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
You get used to it.
I just subscribed myself to this community on they're based in Dubai. They're called Go Social. They're
What do
basically
they do?
yeah, they're Go Social. It's a community on like just building a network of like-minded people and just trying to grow together on social media. So that's my what I'm trying to do right now.
What for
And
your own
yeah, I
personal
mean
account
it's
or for
doing
this
good. Like I
account?
put in, yeah. What's up?
So is that for
Sorry.
this personal account that you're trying to grow, or this like our like
No,
podcast
like
channel? Or what?
across all social media platforms. So like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Well, I am doing a bit of TikTok farming at the moment, so I can try and help you out with that.
Yeah, follow me on TikTok. Let me show you my profile.
We're just trying to farm for the TikTok cash.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, the TikTok cash, but in the way that like the values that suit us, obviously.
Oh no, no, no! Because that's just through our music and that sort of stuff,
Yeah, 100%. Let me see. Where's my TikTok?
dude.
Uh,
This this is crazy to think about. Like honestly, like
there we go. Yeah, I showed it to you on Instagram. But yeah,
awesome. But also, what's also what's going to happen on Earth? What do you reckon is going to happen on Earth as well once this happens?
like what do you mean? Like
So
you
you
mean
said
that
after,
end?
yeah, after like during like proper end times for humanity.
Well, there's gonna come a time first that like after the reign of the imposter, we call him the imposter. You can call him the Antichrist. You can call him,
That's what
the
Christianity calls him, the Antichrist. So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly the deceiver, Jesus false, the false. Basically, he's gonna be a false Jesus or a false God. The true false God. I call him the true false God. The 0 1 God, whatever. The zero God.
but then
There's
how
so
are we
many.
going to know which one's real and which one's fake when they both descend down and try and
Yeah. So after that, 40 days, it's gonna happen. He's gonna reign for 40 days, and after that, it's going to be a fight between the real believers versus the hypocrites, and then after that, Jesus will descend, and once Jesus, the real Jesus, descends, the imposter dies instantly, and then everyone will finally be able to live in peace because like everything gets resolved right away. People know now who the real Jesus is. the false imposter dies, and then people actually realize, okay, because when Jesus will descend, he'll actually be angels that will bring him down. So people will be able to validate that visually, like they'll have a clear picture, like the clear sign. Just like I told you, the solar eclipse, the lunar eclipse that happened. It'll be
Yeah.
as clear as that.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to think for like the people who won't or aren't in the same sort of like mindset as what we are.
Yeah.
How are they figure out? How the innocent people going to figure it out?
Yeah. No, this time they'll that the people who will be living on Earth at that time will be living in peace, and it's going to be like that for 7 years. That's what the prophet says.
That's why seven
7 years.
seven seven so important as well. I'm just thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a number, but God chooses his numbers, right? And then after that, uh, for 7 years, it's going to be just any person who's poor. They ask, basically, they can ask and we'll just be giving it to them. Like, you need food, here's food. You need water, here. You want a house, there's a house. You're
So
not
he's
going to
reliving his stages on Earth. He's
really, you're
reliving his
living
steps.
you're going to be living a true free life without paying for anything, without paying for your existence, without paying for your space, for your time, without paying for your energy, without paying for your frequency, none of that. You're just going to be living for free for 7 years.
There's going to be a
With
lot of guilt associated with that for a lot of people.
no, there isn't, because at that time the whole concept of negativity will be gone. It'll
So we get a
literally
world free
be.
of these Satanists and hedonists. Oh, yeah.
No, those people, the whole concept of Satanists and free and all that will be basically destroyed, because as soon as Jesus descends, touches earth, the imposter who's aided by those devils will die. So,
Awesome.
meaning the devils associated will also basically their existence will serve no purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole concept of deception is gone. It's just truth at that point. And then from there, like, people will be living in peace, they'll prosper. Whoever's in need, even if you're born with an illness, right away it gets cured, because it's Jesus that's like living right now with you, and like everyone else who's believes in like the real Jesus. Not We're not talking about like these imposters,
Yeah.
because the real Jesus did not get any tattoos, did not wasn't
He
anointed
hasn't
by
pierced
some
his skin or, yeah.
exactly. The real
He's
Jesus.
a true, he's a whole.
Exactly. Exactly. He did not associate himself with false gods or false concepts or things that self pleasures, that kind. All of that is a deception. That's why as soon as Jesus descends and touches earth, the whole concept of deception is gone, wiped out. And during those
Because he's
7 years,
got that purity.
yeah, during that period of time, Jesus will establish his family on earth too. Will marry, will have kids, because he didn't do that, right? He left. God ascended Jesus before they tried to kill him. That's what we believe in. We believe in.
But then who's not going to. Oh, yeah. But then who's not going to say that there's going to be. That's still possible because we're humans. We're pretty much built to create chaos
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
So after those 7 years, look, they're just 7 years. It doesn't mean the earth
Oh,
stops
seven
spinning.
years, yeah.
Yeah. So right after 7 years, that's it. There's gonna come a time where Jesus and then all his followers and the people, they will die, and God will send them straight to heaven and paradise, and that's it. There's all the true believers are basically gone from earth. Now what remains on earth are like the bad people, the people who do like corruption and sin and all that. Those people will stay on earth, and then that's when God, like Allah, tells that's it. It's going to be the time of the day of judgment, and then that's it. Like the sun will rise from the west, the trumpet will be blown, and then that's it. The earth will be flattened, the heavens will be uh, rolled up, and then that's it. God is going to start accountability on people, on creation, basically. But the reason why he takes away all of the remaining believers from earth is because he wants the disbelieving people to witness the day of judgment. Because he's been warning people day after day for so many years and generations. It's going to happen, it's going to happen. And then these people kept on disbelieving, right?
But then
So
why do
then
people think they're smarter than God is my question.
so the record the recompense, the consequence that they live is, God will tell them, will keep them living on earth until the whole day of judgment gets thrown on their heads, and that's it. Like they can't do anything about it, because that when that happens, literally, God is flattening earth. Right now, it's a circle, like it's a sphere. He's gonna flatten that out. So imagine like the how many earthquakes it's gonna have to take, how many volcano eruptions, how much dust has to basically be retransformed and all. Bro, it's insane.
Yeah.
But like people just don't believe in that. They're so stuck in the temporary delusion and like the finite that they can't see the whole thing happen in front of them. They're just blinded. You know, it's really sad.
It's crazy to think about. You got to be crazy enough to believe your own illusions, and yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But like this is all science based. Like, look, my whole life I've been studying science. I've tested my own faith with science. You know,
Yeah. Like,
like I'm a real tester. Like that's why I'm right now. That's my profession. Like I'm testing satellites in space.
you're an
It's crazy.
engineer, yeah.
Yeah, like engineering. I mean, it's crazy, but God
At
tested
least
me.
that gives something for our viewers to think about.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's like this is how I see it. It's like a dual thing. It's like if you test yourself, you're actually becoming hypocritical. But if you let God test you, you're becoming a believer. You see?
But then how does
Because
that work for concepts like,
because
let's just simplify it, for like
yeah,
stuff like going to the gym or like sparring for an example, or even like trying to push your limits for working, or is that God's work, not your work?
because then you're attributing your work to yourself. You're not attributing it to God. Because you're a created thing. You're not creating. He's creating through you. You're his slave. He's testing you. You have to see his signs. Then you'll know how to advance in life, right? So if you're
So it's
becoming
just
like
just
a
preparation.
GM, or yeah, exactly. If you're becoming a GM, or you're becoming I don't know, the next best soccer player or the next best whatever, you got to know how to interpret literals and sensory, observations and signs and symbols that God is basically throwing in your face, and you got to know how to act with that. How to move with that, or else, boom,
So like
that's
a
it.
test. It's
But you're
really
not
just a
testing.
massive test.
Yeah, but you're not testing yourself, because as soon as you do that, you're limiting yourself. You're not taking God's upper bound. You're taking your own upper bound, and that's how you become that finite. And that's it. You're getting washed. You're getting tossed. You're basically getting like, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not good to test yourself. And the whole concept of, oh yeah, she's testing me or I'm testing her, that's false. It's God testing both of you. You know, it's God
You just got to be
testing
able to see
you.
it abstractly enough to see that.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, because He sees things you don't see, right?
Yeah.
So there could be something that, okay, yeah, I'm testing myself how far I can go in my workout, but there's probably like a few things that you don't even know as you're doing the workout, or you probably never even thought of, right? So it's best to have the mindset of, okay, I'm going into this life, God's testing me. I just gotta take as many signs as I can, and then move accordingly, and move in the best way possible.
Makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah. because you don't see things that God sees. You don't. There's
We
He
don't
has
have that
vast.
level of perception.
Exactly. We don't have that perception. That's how humanity survived for so many years. How we progressed for so many years, man. Think about it. How are we supposed to send satellites to space, man? Come on. We're not from monkeys to do that. What the heck?
I mean, we should test that one day.
Yeah, exactly. What the heck? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's a knowledge upper bound, man. It's a knowledge upper bound. And only God sets the limit, not you.
But it also makes you think how big this world, how like small, but also how big this world is as well.
Yeah. It's how you see it, right? At the end of the day. It's how you see it. Like, you want to see it small, you're just zooming in on one part of it.
That's yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
It's you see like it's like a whole different perception of life now. Like you're not you feel like you're a wizard. You're not just like stuck in your senses anymore. You know?
yeah.
Because
But
it's
also,
God showing you. It's God
uh,
showing you. Right? Yeah, what's up?
I was just thinking, just because there's also, like as you said, that magical part of life. Like so many people have that. Just they don't see that magical part of life. That's like the truth in fairy tales, and yeah, that's all just God's work, not your work. Like as you
Yeah.
said, you see yourself as a wizard. People see themselves as wizards, and
Yeah, but it's not
that's
you.
not you being that. That's not you just being that genius. It's more so God guiding you, and or the devil guiding you and trying to show you the magic that's really uncovered behind all this, like plane of
Yeah.
existence.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying. I'm also just thinking, even it's crazy just to think about like how the Earth is just round and then he just flattens it all out and like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the end.
that's
That's
crazy to
what
think
happens at
about.
the end. Yeah. That's why you had a one point where some humans thought that the earth was flat. That's just like that's just God's programming because at the end God will flatten earth. You see what I mean? That's why humans thought for a second they're like, "Oh, earth is flat?" No, it's not. It's round. It's spherical.
For
Because
now,
God is basically sending them the sign that it's going to happen soon, you know?
yeah, I'm just thinking of a bunch of things at the moment. It's
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy to think about. Like how God's been sending these signals to people throughout like the rest of human time, and we've just been testing his theories. Really, well, not his theories. Yeah, we've just been testing what's going to happen.
Yeah, you see? It's insane.
That's yeah.
Anyways, man, it's been an hour. We're
It's been
gonna
an hour.
Yeah, it's been an hour, man. It's four
Holy
five
crap.
6 a.m. there.
Um, yeah, 6 a.m. Holy,
Crazy. Anyways,
we've
you
been
got
going
we
for an hour and we haven't even realized
and
it.
can you show me the dawn? What's happening there? Can you see? Can I see the sky?
Oh,
Like,
hold up.
bro, is that the dawn? I can hear birds chirping, man.
Yeah,
Monday morning in Australia. That's crazy. Man, and you see the sunlight going up. Man, that's crazy.
hold up. I'll show you from a better. I'll show you from a better angle.
Yeah, I don't think you can flip cameras in this app because it's a podcast app, but no worries.
Hold up. I'll just show you. It's better once I go out because we're near the beach as well. It's yeah.
100%.
Hold up. Give me a little bit. I'm just gonna do a little bit of walking. But like, look at that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I can see the skyline. It's crazy. Wow, these what is that? Palm trees?
yeah, palm trees.
What, bro? Is it what? I thought. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, we don't see that here in Montreal, man.
Pardon?
Yeah, we don't. There's no palm trees in Montreal. Forget it.
I don't.
But
Let me
yeah,
just.
that's pretty nice, man.
I'll try and get
Austria.
you a better view of the sun. Hold up.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Cold
I
out
don't
here.
want to make you move too much.
Fucking cold out here.
Yeah, yeah, don't worries, man. It's fine.
Oh no.
I've had a nice view like already. So
Hold up. Got it.
wow. Even though it's kind of blurry, but I can see the lights.
Yeah, it's
No worries. Yo, that's
pretty
pretty.
insane.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Wow. Yeah, hopefully someday, man, I can come over to Australia. I literally,
Hopefully.
you're the first person I think I know.
What, from Australia or?
Yeah, I think you're the first person that I had a family friend who moved from Toronto to Australia, but they're not really my friend, right? To that person. Yeah.
Give me a little bit. You should
Yeah,
come to Bundy one day.
yeah, 100%. Like, you live in Brisbane, right?
Oh, that I'm about 5 hours from Brisbane, but I go to
Oh,
Brisbane a fair bit.
got you.
I sort of
Yeah.
half live at Bundy, half live at Brisbane.
Sounds good.
Hold up, let me just go back. Oh, this gives me old memories. Fucking cold feet, winter's morning. Oh
Man,
shit, that's a cold mem. That's cold. Yeah, that's
no
yeah.
worries, man.
Yeah, it's from rowing. Hold up.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Taking yourself back.
Yeah,
That's good stuff.
do you want me to edit all the clips or?
Yeah, yeah. If you want, you can edit it on your time. I'll share you the link on Riverside, and then. But yeah, I'm gonna pause the podcast, bro. Like I'm gonna stop recording now, but we can keep talking if you want.
Let me just get back inside. Hold
Yeah,
up.
for sure.
Fucking cold.
So it's been
Oh.
nice. First episode with Denyin covered a lot of ground, man.
Especially, I didn't expect to cover that much religious topics as well. Like honestly, like,
We gotta go across all fields, man. We gotta go
but also you
across
can
all
pretty easily
fields.
bounce from subject to subject as well.
That's the thing with becoming a man. You have to be multidisciplinary, and you have to be multi, in general. Like just have as many goods as you can.
And yet people are so stuck in that one area.
Exactly. But yeah, man. I'm gonna end this first episode like just for now, and we can keep talking. So first episode, July 28th, 2024. Ending it now. It's cool.
I can, yeah.